out shorter to most of them. They're 30th when it comes to three-point shooting percentage.
So Devin Carter with Neat Clifford, Daquan Plowden, Precious Achiuwa, Maxime Renault. For Sacramento, they have 7 road wins. They've been beset by injuries, except for Renault since the All-Star break. Missing the shot there. And Draymond blocking Renault at point-blank range.
Malachi Leon's rotated over the first time, and Draymond had the second time.
Podziemski is spilled. Podziemski
Quantify what he's able to do when it comes to rim protection because he breaks up plays before the driver and then jumps backwards and breaks up the pass. So they never even get a chance to shoot at the rim.
I mean, let's just be honest here. You watch a lot of games and you played in this league. I've been calling games for 3 decades. If you give me the 10 best defensive players in the NBA today, you're not having a list where Draymond Green's not on it.
Absolutely.
I mean, yes, there's analytics and stats. Just watch a guy guard 1 through 5, and he's done it at the level he has. And that time, Podziemski got a hand on him, but no good hands. Flips it in and draws the foul.
So I said, to that quick, he's got great touch inside. Even eventually, maybe later on in his career, could be a prolific three-point shooter, but he's got great post game, great back-to-the-basket game. He's the only player in college basketball to average 20 and 10.
4-year Stanford player.
That last season of his senior year.
And that pass, you got to stay away from those. That's been, the Warriors did a great job not turning it over against Houston.
I was about to say that. Only 10 turnovers against Houston as they make Renault miss 1.
So you don't have Porzingis tonight. You're not going to have Will Richard tonight or Guy Santos. The Warriors, you have to get healthy for this play-in. And you do have a back-to-back Lakers-Kings coming up. So we're keeping an eye on, especially Guy has a pelvic injury he's trying to work through. Malachi, we talked about that right hand passing out to Podziemski, missing for the baseline.
I talked to Malachi Leon before this game. He was like, it's feeling much better. And I was like, we had a great time when you shoot free throws left-handed. We went crazy when you made one. He's like, yeah, I was happy to make one.
Devin Carter kicking it out.
I think literally.
He might have. And Renault, you see the moves there.
I told you, man.
I mean, Renault was quoted. He said, I do think I'm the best big in the rookie class.
He stood on it.
He's taken 42nd in the draft. It's hard to argue.
Yeah.
That's Spencer from deep.
Okay. When Steph returned, and Pat Spencer kind of just stopped in no man's land as 2 guys hesitating. We're about to go with the roller there.
Plowden, who had been in the Warriors camp. Giving it to Achiuwa, flipping it up and out. Pretty good defense. And you see Malachi Leon's. He's like Guy Santos was a couple years ago. Like every loose ball, Energizer Bunny, great defender.
Got a nose for the ball.
That fadeaway. Spencer's going to have a career best in everything this year. Games played, and points, and shooting, and the whole bit.
Couldn't be happier for him. And he saw Precious Achiuwa. He's like, I see food. I got to eat. What out of it?
Everything goes through Renault with this addition to the Kings. Devin Carter down the lane. Draymond challenge, and Carter floats it home. And Devin Carter was the 13th pick in 2024.
Remember last time we played this team, I compared him to Derek White type of player. Even Podziemski, like a secondary ball handler, combo guard.
Another one whose dad played in the league. Shot clock at 7. Shot clock at 4 for Podziemski. A little contact. And didn't get any love. Lots been doing that, though. Career best free throw shooting and definitely getting to the line a lot more in the last month and a half. Carter does draw the foul here.
That's the 2 defenders staying. It's good hands, can run the floor really well. Pretty good rim protection. He's got 7'3" wingspan, so that definitely helped. He was like, I was so surprised I was that wide open playing with Steph Curry. You saw him kind of hesitate there when he rolled the basket. His defender stayed with Steph.
He had a nice little shovel pass to Draymond in the 4th quarter.
Yeah.
We talked about Draymond playing with a true center. Podziemski out of the corner. Pods hitting the 3.
He got a little flare screen there, kind of, and Clifford realized that late. The pass was low. He was unfazed by that.
Podziemski, only Warrior to play in every game. I think that's a point of pride for Brandon. Achiuwa, a couple moves there. Draymond with the rebound.
And even that last little bump from Draymond Green. First of all, he moved his feet so he's still there. But that last little bump made it much tougher for Achiuwa.
Lassie back to Pat Spencer, and then blocked out of bounds. It'll still be Warrior.
Against Şengün. Podziemski didn't like the spacing on that, but that's a clip you had. That's a preparation clip, right? You can watch it, you can talk it out if Podziemski misses a 3.
GP2 the rebound.
So if they're ever in that position again in the play tournament, is you get Steph Curry knocking down a 3.
The one thing about that, though, the Rockets knew Steph was going to shoot the ball.
For sure.
And they're going to have 3 guys on him.
That's what I'm saying. But you get to talk it out, right? You watch film and you figure out what you want to do in that situation. So when it happens again in the playing tournament, you're better prepared.
Flip it out. That 3 rainbowed in. Daquan Plowden, the Warriors did like him.
He's super bouncy and known for how athletic he is.
5 years of Bowling Green. He was undrafted.
And he doesn't shoot it flat. You saw how high he gets that three ball.
Okay, you get the 2-to-1.
That's the thing.
The rim is twice the diameter of the ball. That one off of Bajemski's hands. And Carter's got a freebie, and he'll dunk it down.
You're just trying to make sure you take care of it. And Seth was like, I'm just trying to make his job easier.
Seth dropped it off for Bassey, who lays it up and in. Yeah. Seth Curry can play basketball, by the way.
And you saw how
just a shooter.
You saw how much the Kings respected him. 2 defenders went with him, and he made the right pass. He's not just a shooter. He can be a playmaker.
Working on Steph up top. To make it Renault, the roller. A little funny hop in the lane. Kick it back out to Achua for 3. And Steph for the rebound. Passing to Steph. GP2 missing that 3.
I was going to say, I love that Seth and Steph came in the game, and the Kings are probably going to run a play for Steph, but it's a play for Seth to play make.
Now, this is a guy who can beat you by himself sometimes. Malik Monk is one of those microwave scorers that can really go nuts. Mentioned Blount shoots that high arcing 3, and he's made 2 of them.
He's 33% in three-point range. He had 15 against the Clippers, and you know how good that defense could be.
So Steph on the left side and Seth on the right side. Ricochet rebound to Achua. Big steps all the way to the lane. And Bassey got back. Definitely knows a lot about soccer when you're talking to him about that sport.
Messi,
yep.
Just going with the soccer calls, football.
That was your sport growing up in London.
Remember we tried to hold our breath? Yeah, we tried to hold our breath as long as we could, saying goal.
I do remember that. Pat Spencer missing the fadeaway. All right, GP2 and Pat have taken 2 shots. I want a Curry to shoot. Let's get that stripped at him. Call the Curry play. Either Curry. No holding up top. Malik Monk back to the big man. We just said, since the All-Star break, he has scored at just an elite level.
As a roller, he's so versatile. He can short roll and hit that push shot there.
10 points in the paint already. Not losing it out of bounds, but still Warrior ball.
I want to see Dan.
And McDermott checking in. Going Cardwell. Cardwell denied Bassey.
Yeah, Cardwell is bouncy there.
And then the lob overthrow. Bassey thought he was fouled on as a shooter. 29%. You want him shooting outside, not getting inside.
I said one of the keys, close out short to guys. He's got a lot of speed. Steph got double team there, but GP2 saved him.
And then GP2, beautiful lob to Bassey.
It worked out just like there was no deflection. The 2 defenders stayed with Steph. 2 guys are out of the play. The other guy has to rotate over, and McDermott was that guy and throw it up high.
Deflection. Pat Spencer to steal. Playing with Steph on Malik Monk. Melton denied by McDermott. Somehow found Steph on the other side. Bottom the 3. That's a good find right there.
Mid-range, the pull-up game. He's been a threat out there.
Anthony Melton with GP2. Pat Spencer, Pajemski, and Charles Bassey. Shot clock at 9. Pat working on McDermott from the elbow. Rim that out. Nate Clifford with the rebound. Clifford and Cardwell. Killian Hayes, McDermott, and Malik Monk.
See how well you know your scouting report, know who you want to let shoot threes, close out short to certain guys.
You're going to see these same 2 teams on Friday up in Sacramento. Clifford the runner, rimming it out, and Bassey will inhale rebounds.
That's what he does.
He said the 20 games in Santa Cruz, averaging 20 points and 11 boards.
He's got a really high motor.
Off back iron, batted it back out to GP2. Jeffsky nowhere to go. Credit the Kings, moving nicely defensively. Shot clock at 5. Anthony getting in the lane and flipping it in, drawing the foul. He's averaging 12 a game, and in a playoff or play-in, you're going to need him to be a double-digit scorer.
It's just hard to think the way you normally do with a hurt left thumb. His Warriors are in zone now, and Doug McDermott is your zone buster.
Yeah, don't leave him in the corner.
You got to make sure Warriors are in that 1-3-1, so he kind of found the weak spot.
Yeah, McDermott's a 40% three-point shooter, but doing it for a dozen years.
He's your one guy on a team that's 30th when it comes to
not a good three-point shooting team. Yes, understatement of the broadcast. Bassey calling his own number. Cardwell moves nicely.
I like him.
Shot clock at 3. Pajemski sidestep 3. Good patience, and it pays off.
He knew exactly how much time he had. And Hayes was running at him. It's an awkward closeout. Left his feet. A little sidestep. Made it look easier than it is.
You always hear Steve Kerr talk about spacing. Pajemski was spaced out nicely there. GP2, great play.
He's sold out for that. Malik Monk was going to get it dunked.
cut back door, and GP2 was ready for that pass.
If you can't keep your body in between him and the basket, you better bring that effort like GP2 did.
That one deflected out of bounds.
Break the paint, you get the reaction from Hayes. Now he's got to get back out. Podge knew what to do with it.
Shot clock at 5. Melton, oh, look at Bassey. Guide that home.
He's got big hands. Amazing hands to only have one hand on that ball. It's amazing.
First zone and lob. Pat Spencer pick Malik Monk's pocket. Melton running. Melton attacking. Melton finishing. This is great for DeAnthony Melton right now.
And GP2 had McDermott hemmed up for just enough time to get Melton some momentum going to the rim.
Bassey moved his feet. Clifford couldn't get by him. Dwayne Hayes finding Clifford. Good find in the corner. Driving home that 3.
Did you see Cardwell on the weak side there, the pin-in screen? That defender couldn't close out like he wanted to.
Lena's right. This is a team that does not make threes at a high rate. The Warriors give it a rebound total.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I like him.
Oh, yeah.
Carter banking that home.
That was kind of a four-top screen from Cardwell that time, just to give Carter some space in there. Get around one guy, then he's got the other guy covered. Kind of had him in jail inside. He knows how to play.
Yeah, a 5-year college player. Played in the SEC at Auburn. Alabama once again, that right hand kind of shooting as a last resort there. That pass over Cardwell, that would have been a dump.
Saw him go to that right hand there on that tough little push shot.
But Malafy's going to defend. He's going to rebound. He's going to do a lot of good things.
He's clearly going to play if at all possible as Bassey gets inside. He's got a good shot.
Charles Bassey's 8, along with Kujewski's 8, leading the Warriors.
Yeah, he's worked on his game, man. And there's a reason why he was averaging 20 and 11 in 20 games, like you said, in the G League. He's got that touch inside. And again, being able to short roll. You expect someone else to rotate over.
Carter wanted to get a bump, did not, and it's out of bounds to the Warriors.
Warriors rolls around him and sets a screen. You can curl the basket out. There's all kinds of things you can do.
The other day, good news that Al Horford is playing 3-on-3. Hopefully get Al back.
Yeah. You're just trying to get
to the play.
Just trying to get as healthy as you can right now. You get Melton missing one.
But he got fouled. We've said this the last month or so. But when you have a Horford Porzingis,
you can deal with the Clippers or the Blazers, whoever ends up at that 9 spot that you have to deal with. Both teams have some size.
If it's the Blazers,
right?
You know about Klingon, and you know about the way that they beat the Warriors 3 out of 4 times.
They play so fast, and they get downhill. They drive it so much.
1 of 2 for Melton on the other end. There's Dougie McBuckets.
That's what he does, threes.
So McDermott hitting another 3.
But the Blazers took the Nuggets to the brink.
They did
last night.
Did you watch it? That was a great game.
It was a good game. Both at 130s, both teams.
Malafy on the baseline. Setting up. Melton, everything is coming along for DeAnthony right now.
There we go. So he's got that tape on that thumb. We've seen it before. The tape looks a little different. Maybe he's a little more comfortable with it, but it's basically a baseline drive, baseline drip. Simple play, react.
He's got 9. He's got to feel good. As Clifford misses that 3. Bassey with the rebound.
And Bassey that time was a drop coverage. I believe that was what they worked on. That was the coverage they wanted to go with.
So now DeAnthony Melton's like, hey, I am officially hot.
Well, it's just great to see him have some success here.
Defensively and toughness-wise and pairing with Steph, he is ideal in a lot of ways.
And we've seen what he's like when he's amazing. He's got his legs back down, he's smiling, and he's proud and knocking down another 3.
Is 3 of 3 on threes. The team that is 30th in the NBA in three-point shooting is 6 of 11.
Well, he's 33% from three-point range. 3 of 3, maybe you can't make anymore.
Okay.
I'm just throwing stuff out there.
Mathematically, it'd be likely to start to miss. I'm with you. Kujewski out of the corner, off iron there. Renaud with the rebound.
We got Steph back in here in the last 6 minutes. See if you can have some more momentum going into halftime.
See Draymond there, make sure Carter didn't get a layup. It doesn't get any stat for that. Then he just contested, plowed and forced his first miss. That's what I'm saying. If you're wondering if Draymond Green is an all-defensive player, watch that last sequence as GP2 pays it up. Draymond won't get any stat for the 2 things he did, but he stopped a layup, contested a 3, and the Warriors got a layup because of it.
He sees play before play. You know, he's cool not getting stats for it at times, too.
You know, notices that coaches and opponents and teammates. Deep Clifford missing that 3. Rebound battle for Jemski. Draymond on the box out on Achua.
Warriors are okay if the Kings want to keep firing. Just be there in the vicinity if you can.
Steph, everybody jumps at him. Tic-tac-toe. GP2 to finish it off.
In someone's mind, there's no way to quantify that, and then he gets out and contests and gets no stat for that.
He's going to get a stat for that. If he missed that 3, I wanted it to go in. Warrior lead at 6. Carter's pinned under the backboard. Good cut by
effort. Well, that's the best time.
And this is the Warriors' biggest lead.
So that was a 2?
Counted it as the 3. Nate Clifford. I'm going to sort that out at the next stoppage. Harder down the lane, lobbing it up. Unable to be guided in by Achua, and Draymond cleans it up.
Yeah, that was a 3. Steph's 2 for 4.
Pajemski dropping in a 3. So Pajemski's got 11, Melton's got 12, and a lot of guys are getting healthy and building some. Just like you at Kentucky.
It's that effect. You get aggressive, man. You get active out there.
Double team in the steal now for Seth, who's out there with his brother. Oh, no one-handed passes. That becomes the Warriors' 5th turnover. And Achua, was he fouled? He traveled.
Hey, give Pat Spencer credit for it. We got the W.
So Curry hits the technical free throw. That one kicked. And you cycle that shot clock to 14.
Look at Steph. He's hitting his head.